she's a police officer, but the adult me and her working with young people that potentially that was me. I could have easily, been an entrepreneur at that age, but I still struggled. I still had an attitude. I still wanted to fight. I still wanted to wild out. I still wanted to crash out, whatever. But to watch her take so much pride in this organization and what she is doing right now with this nucleus. But Officer Jordan, when he don't take any. You can say, Officer Jordan, you're
Yeah, he's
amazing.
coming next week, and he's already like, bro. I'm gonna have the kids do all the talking. I'm like, yeah, right.
You gotta hear.
I'm like, I'm gonna give you your flowers whether you want to receive them or not.
Yes.
And you can have the kids, do.
Make them feel
Yeah, I am. Don't worry, I am because I mean he does so many amazing things for the community, the kids, and I personally just from the 5 or 6 times whatever that the kids have been here, I seen the difference in them. From their personality, the way they carry themselves, the way they dress, everything. And I said, bro, that's all you. That's all you. You know what I'm saying? I told him that when I spoke to him the other day. And when I told him, bro, when you come, because I sent him a video from I had the dad program here. And, Coach Davis was right there. And then there was, 3 kids around him. So I'm like, bro, you sitting there.
Yes.
And then the kids will be around you, but they're gonna talk, but I'm bringing these roses to you whether you want them or not.
Yes.
And they're gonna tell you a story because you do so many amazing things, and it's a shame that there's not more awareness of it. And from
that part.
from having PR experience in the past, I'm like, I don't understand why there's not so much media and press on what you guys do. You guys do such amazing events that some of the shots I've taken, I'm not just saying that because I took them, should have been on the cover of the newspaper the next day talking about what you guys did.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So whatever I got to do to bring more awareness to, I'm definitely
Please, Felix, do
yes,
it. Please, you're the person to do it too, because God is setting you up specifically for a time such as now. You've been doing this for so long, man. Your resume is long. Like you're talking about me, like for real.
Legend in the game.
Well, you are a legend in the game, but look how God is so intentional and so strategic. Like he said, look, I'm gonna build your resume, because what do the kids respond to?
body of work, the history.
Body of work all day, right? Body of work all day. And then also what you say, how you say it, and then making sure you're not fake, but your body of work. Your body of work as soon as you step foot in the door. But this is the crazy part. People don't talk about this level of community policing.
I would say,
why?
I'm on the outside looking in. I'm from Georgia. I've known Officer Easton.
24 years.
Like 24 years, right? She is the definition of community policing. I don't know who did it before her, but she has laid a blueprint that is untouchable. And then she cultivated a community and a culture and an atmosphere in which a Jordan can step right in. And his gifts can, he's on her shoulders.
Yep.
And he's doing an amazing job.
She said, because she could retire, she's like, she doesn't want to retire because she want to make sure all these programs continue to go and thrive and everything before she actually does do that. I mean, she has the time and everything else to do it, but she won't.
Because she has so much wisdom and knowledge and understanding. She's a true human resource.
Yep.
Her intellectual properties that she possessed, that she brings to this, I'm telling you. So she's so smart and wise. What she's doing, she's continuing to cultivate that culture, and she's planting seeds in Officer Jordan and others, so that when she do step away, which any good leader do, a good leader will make sure even when they're not there, the work is still getting done.
Yep.
So what she's doing is she's literally, she's making sure this foundation is so tight that she can just come back and just take a look at it. She can retire, travel the world, come back, and y'all good. She can, and she has to come back because they're gonna be honoring her for the rest of her life because her body of work is untouchable. I can care less. So you're hearing this from an outsider. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm like, wow. Everywhere we travel, and we travel all over the world, we speak of this level of community policing.
Yep.
Because this is that stuff that bridges the gap between literally the community and the police. It removes the stigma. Because now, how could you be afraid of a police when they pull you over if you were just at an amazing event they threw for you? with a lot of food and fun, and y'all dance together. You literally humanize that police officer. Now, oh, that's a human just like me. They have a family just like me. We just danced together. We just ate together. We just had a good time together. They pulled me over. You know what? I was wrong, officer. I'm sorry. Hey, you're right. It's the stigma is gone. The fear is gone because the community policing has been done so well that they have integrated into the community on a level that is untouched.
Yep.
So that is nothing but respect for her. Like,
Yep.
hats off. Flowers given, all that.
And Jordan, look, this is the crazy part though, right? You talk to Sharon about the Unity Foundation, and you talk about it should be like, that's all Jordan, right? She'll say that. Then you go to Jordan, Jordan's like, that's LT, that's LT. Yeah. And I said, well, doggone it.
Nobody want no credit.
It's all of y'all.
Nobody want no credit. Nobody want no credit, but that's how you know really they're doing God's work.
Amen.
Because they're not there for like clout or any of that.
Yeah,
they're literally there just to do what do their job and be a blessing. Yeah.
The Secret Service of the work that they do as well. I mean, nobody would know. The kids are going to church with a police officer. Mm-hmm. The police officer is taking children to church. The police officer is exposing the teenagers to ability to own their own businesses. Not the ability to, but they are actually, they own businesses. These kids are so buttoned up. The teens are so grateful for the opportunity. You're going to talk to the teens? Mm-hmm. Watch.
Yep, I am.
Watch. They brag different.
Oh yeah. That's why I told them. I said, no, that's cool. I'm loving that you bringing them, but you getting on that microphone just so we clear. And then like you say, then I'm like, look, then you want to pass the mic like the cipher. That's cool, but. You definitely getting on that mic first. And you giving me more than a hot 16.
Exactly, right. And you will not be hitting the beat either, Officer Henry. You will not be the one doing this.
Not at all. Oh, my God. So what are some of the biggest challenges you have faced in your career, and how do you overcome them?
Oh, that's so good. Well, for a long time, as a mom, of course, thinking, oh, my baby's enough. My kids, I'm working all these hours. So the guilt of that as an adult mom in my field doing what I do, right? Then there's always the thing of, God, did I say everything you wanted me to say? Was I obedient? Was I so stressed out, so tired, so distracted by something that I forgot to mention something that would have saved someone's life today because I was on flesh. I was on something else, on 10, because travel had me vexed or whatever, right? The challenges for me as a 51-year-old Yvonne, I have to say though, my energy level, you see me, I'm.
That's what I said. I'm like, I need some of that. I gotta rub her with your permission. I gotta rub her something and let some of that come on this way because I just turned 50 a couple days ago and I feel washed.
No. Yeah, but you are. You know your job too. You have to move around. You have to have your finger on the pulse. Like I'm a wild child. I can jump from chair to chair, stage to stage.
He's trying to catch
you. Got to catch it, right?
Yeah. And trying to keep up with your energy. I'm like, man.
You got to capture me, the audience, the people in the back, the people in the, fixing the lights, whatever. As a wife, as a mom, as a grandmother, I have all of these things now that I want to make sure that I'm doing right. I don't want to neglect anything. As an empty nesting mother now, where it's just me and my husband now, it's just he and I. Now it's okay. How do we learn each other now? Because it's a different dynamic now. Now before, at first it was just us, the children. We got to focus on them. Now it's he and I, right? The 51-year-old Yvonne wants to make sure that self-care is involved. I did a lot of neglect earlier on in my career, just poor eating habits. Thank God I haven't had a drink in over 28 years. So I've been sober for 28 years now.
Congratulations.
I don't drink, amazing. I don't smoke, I don't, any of that stuff. I don't hang out, I'm not with petty people. I don't really have a social life either, but I'm not mad at that because I travel for a living. So social life is wherever I go, Some of the struggles where do we go from here? How do we get the best? Um, how are we able to access more or many more children? How can we touch more lives? Because true, I love going places physically. I like being, because there's nothing like seeing it in rare form, seeing it, in person, being able up close and personal, being able to hug a baby, being able to touch a child. But things have changed so much. The technology has changed. The world has changed so much, and I didn't always pivot well with that. Like I'm not like a real social media, like I could do it or I don't. A lot of my work was pre-social media, because
Yep.
you've been in the game for a
Same,
long time
same,
too.
same here.
So when you love what you do, you don't always have to say, I gotta capture this moment for social media. I gotta, that's not my heart. It's just, plus I've been hacked, so we've had to start all over again. That's a headache. I just want to know what's going to be the best usage of our time now moving forward in this dispensation of my life, being able to utilize me, God being able to use me, touching more lives, being able to move in certain spaces and going in certain places where babies need hope. People call it inspiration, but it's hope. We know in the Bible it says that Christ is the hope of glory. He is the hope.
Benji said that the other day when he was here.
Yeah.
That's what he said about the Hope Foundation.
Yes. Well, hope. Where would we be without it? Right. The only reason why you and I sit here today is because we had hope that we have hope that there is a God. We have
Amen.
hope that all of our sins have been, forgiven. We have hope that we can be reborn again, that we can be redeemed, right? There's a hope there. So what does that hope do? That hope gives us a vigor. It gives us new life. It gives us another chance. It gives us a reborn again experience where old things passed away. Behold, you see new things now. I'm going to show you something new. I'm going to show you the new and improved, but I'm also going to see you the good parts of me that I couldn't show you because they were smothered by all of the junk and the trauma that I had to go through in my life, and the muck and the mire and the coping mechanisms that I used, the smoking, the drinking, and all of this other stuff. And I'm the height of the party, and I'm the turn up queen, and I'm ha ha ha, and I'm doing all this and that. But deep down inside, I'm dying. So now that we're past that phase, I have the stamina as a 51-year-old, but I want to be able to say, how in the world do I reach the babies that really, 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 really need it right now in this very moment? Because second to children being afraid, the number one thing kids are afraid of right now is school shootings. Number one, right? Number two thing that they're afraid of, that they are more than anything that they're dealing with, is suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideology, not knowing who they are, dealing with the thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, look at me, I'm ugly, look at my complexion, look at my hair.
Pressure of social media put that on them too.
Fake social norms, and so we are the voice. So I feel like that's where God is leading us right now. I did TV in Patterson for 4 or 5 years. So we did that. We did all.
That's
of
funny. That I wasn't even one of my questions, but hearing what you just said about the outreach and stuff like that made me think about that. I'm like, you ever thought about doing a show or anything like that? Because then you could reach a larger audience. But you just answered that.
So that's what we are. That's the re-up. Yeah. That's the re-up.
Because I was just thought about that too. And then that way, not to say you don't like to travel, but it's like at a certain point, like you said, empty nesters, you want to do certain things. So it gives you that freedom to say, you know what, okay, I could still reach a large audience and still have the ability to spend time with my significant other and enjoy life too.
And consistency, though, because look, when you have shows, you have a podcast right now, right? So you can create content. So they don't just get a chance to see Felix on social media when there's events. Felix has his own thing. Felix can put out as much content as he wants, and he can touch as many topics as he wants. He can bring as many guests as he wants. He can do it's more. It's being more readily available to people to see, right? One thing with my babies, and Brando Lassiter said this again to me one time. He was like, when you leave, the babies hold on to what you said for a whole year until you come back again. You need to give them something so that they have something to hold on to until you come back again. Hence my books. So I wrote the books. We have books now, right? So now the pivot is the television show, which we had, but now more than ever, it's social media, but the show is on social media, YouTube, and all the other stuff. So that's where we're going with that. Because I don't want to miss God. I don't want to let God down. This is wonderful and amazing. All the years and the stuff that I've done, the body of work and all that other stuff. That's amazing. But what if I get there and God said, but you missed this. I needed you to do this. I didn't say travel more. I didn't say have 40 flights in addition to the 30 you were already taking. I said stop, strategize, reinvent, pivot, and utilize what's in your hands. What's in your hands? Social media is free. It's all free. The ministry, the devil is using it. You better believe it, baby.
Most definitely. Most
He's
definitely.
on one.
That's all you see more than anything on social media is the enemy's work.
It's unbelievable. Sometimes I'm like, this can't be real. I'm like, am I being punked every night? Like I'm turning my phone to my husband, like, am I being punked? Because I feel like I'm being punked right now. Are you seeing this? Am I just sleep deprived right now?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. As a father, I'd be like, man, my boys got a real thing coming for them the way, especially a lot of these young girls' mental is because of social media. I'm like, nah, this is not real.
You know, we asked a question. We was at an event and we asked the teenagers, full of their thoughts on social media and what age should parents allow students or kids to be on social media. And a lot of them was like, no, they shouldn't start until they're like 16, 17, maybe even 18.
Yep.
I was like, wow. Yeah, because they understand. And some of the kids, like, I wish I would have never had access to social media, because when you have access, that means that it works both ways. So now they have access to you.
Yep.
So I don't think at any point in time, no one should have that much access to our children, and our children shouldn't have that much access to all the foolishness that's going on in the world.
Yeah, I was speaking to a counselor a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about how some of the girls she had, which are about 8 years old, and they're all stressed out about beauty tips and all types of stuff. Like, she's like, I wasn't even thinking about that till I was like in my 20s, and they're 8 years old talking about skincare and hair products. And
Bruh, $1 billion industry.
Yes.
This is tweens, not teens.
Yeah.
Billion.
How can we get their money now? How can we start? How can we monetize their insecurities?
Yep.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. They're monetizing every insecurity that any young person have. Then they can lock them in for life. If I can do that now, if I can plant that seed and continue to water it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grow me a real money tree. I'm going to grow me trees of money and forest full of money trees, because I have impacted these children in such a negative way that I've rewired their brains to think that they're not enough, to think they're not beautiful enough, to think that nothing that they do would never measure up to these fake social norms.
Yep.
Well said, brother. What is your core message or philosophy you strive to convey in your speeches?
Two things. First, it's not how you started, but it's how you finish. So finish real, real big. And I tell this is people are afraid of greatness, right? Greatness is controversial. I can see what's on you sometimes before you can see what's on you. I can see how amazing you are before you can, right? So if I'm a hater, the first thing I'm gonna try to do is I gotta try to detract you. I gotta take you, of course, early. I gotta start pointing out all the flaws to make you, like, I gotta dangle over here so you're not here. I gotta make you look at something that's irrelevant to your purpose, right? So you have to understand, anytime an individual is trying to diminish or do anything to attack your character, to attack something like a personal thing on you, or a personal thing about you, or whatever, don't take that stuff personally. Like, they're doing that for a reason. First of all, they're insecure about themselves. But this is the one thing I realized: if somebody doesn't like you, it's a personal problem. If you never did anything to that person and they don't like you, it's a personal problem. If you walk into a space and somebody immediately is intimidated by you because of the way you look or because of what you have, it's a personal problem. So stop dimming down and dumbing down to fit into these false narratives in these small little boxes so somebody can feel comfortable about themselves because they're not doing what it is that they need to be doing in life. They don't want to do it. They're not motivated to do it. You're not motivating them by your presence, because guess what? In reality, we should be giving each other permission to shine. When I walk in and I'm my best self, when you see me and I'm on 10 and I hug you and you hug me and we could feel like the energy just surge through us, us and we're like, yeah, let's go. We have just given each other permission to just rock the entire event out, right? But when that doesn't happen, when I'm standoffish, I'm like, look at him, man, legend in the game. Speak to inspire. When we do certain stuff like that and we begin to cut each other down and we cut each other's confidence down, then what we just did was, man, we just sold out. We're sellouts. We're sellouts because we can't even celebrate one another. So if people don't like you, if they can't handle your success, if they don't like what you do, if you being your best, authentic, 100% self is offending them, if you know you're not conceited or stuck up and you're not doing it just to, be overly zealous, or you're trying to, be something that you're not or whatever, but you know that your heart is behind it. You're doing what you're doing because you truly want to be a light in this dark world. You truly want to be that. If people cannot handle your shine, it's a personal problem. Don't dim down for anybody. My thing is, if they can't handle your shine, tell them put some shades on then. And my goal is this, because I look the way I look, bro. You see me, I'm light skinned, I got freckles. I don't look like, who do you know that looks like? Well, you probably, because, they say I look Puerto Rican. They be like, are you Puerto Rican?
Yeah, I actually thought you was mixed.
Everybody always thinks,
I thought that.
Well, I am mixed. The clean cut of it is white, black, and Native American, right? That's the clean cut of it, right? Or indigenous American. But the truth of the matter is, I'm Irish, Dutch, English, Native American. I'm black. I'm like, there's a lot going on here. I'm a pot of gumball. But I remember, because I look so different and because the freckles, I hated them. I tried to scrub them off with Noxzema. That's how old I am, Noxzema. Y'all remember the Noxzema commercial? Noxzema and lemons and all that stuff. Like, I tried to do all of that stuff to get them off. I hated me. But I realized I hated me because everybody else hated me. Like, they talked about my hair, my body. I wasn't enough. I wasn't this, was this. So I just remember having this conversation with God. I said, God, I promise you, I will never, ever, ever make somebody feel how people made me feel. I promise you. That's why I don't meet a stranger. I'm friends with everybody. Every ethnicity. My husband will tell you, I don't care who, even if they don't speak English, like, we understand each other just by the nodding and the shaking of the head, or just by the hand gesturing and the signaling, because it's empowering and it's so inspiring for us to encourage each other, because we don't know what the next person is going through.
Facts.
Facts.
Who are individuals that inspired you in your life, and how have they influenced your work?
Ooh, there's a couple of them. Well, Reverend Lassiter, Benji, Mr. Moody, Sharon. I don't want to. If I start leaving people out, man, I'm gonna get in trouble. But I'll go back to my 7th grade teacher, Mrs. Williams. She passed away during COVID. Not from COVID, but she passed away during COVID. And the reason why I love her so much is because she taught me my identity. Remember the CAT test we used to fill out? Mm-hmm. I used to ask you what's your ethnicity, and I used to leave it blank. And I remember one day she called me up in the front of the room, and she said to me, "Why didn't you circle this?" And I said, "Because I don't know what I am." And she said, "Well, you don't know your." She was like, "What's your mom?" And I was like, "I think she's white." And she was like, "What do you mean you think?" I said, "She looks white, white, And so she was like, "What about your dad?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "You don't know? You never seen your dad before?" I said, "No." She was like, "Well, what do you think he is?" And I was like, "I think he might be black. I don't know." She was like, "Well, what did your mom say about it?" And I was like, "She doesn't, but from what I understand, or what my family said, he's black or whatever." And she told me at that moment, she said, "Well, baby, you're black." And she was like, "Don't you ever forget that, and don't you ever be embarrassed about that." So it was at that moment that she kind of sealed me with identity, in a sense of it became a lot less complicated for me at that moment, because I was getting in fights with like dudes, like calling me, one dude I'll never forget, I ain't gonna say his name because he might still live in Patterson, and I put them paws on you. I did, Lord, forgive me, but I did. He called me a Oreo cookie. That was one dude. And I did, look, and then she came, I was on top of him, beat him up in the middle of like the floor, right? She came in, she picked me up off of him, and she was like, "What are you doing, Yvonne?" I said, he called me an Oreo cookie. She said, hit him one more time. And then I was outside on the playground, and somebody called me a science project or something like, just craziness I beat him up to, And so I was just like anger and rage. So at that very moment, I didn't feel like I had to respond to that stuff anymore, Like, it didn't matter if you thought I was Little Orphan Annie, Peppermint Patty, Redhead Lucy, Oreo cookie, skunk, whatever you wanted to say about me. At that moment, she pretty much just sealed that, right? So then you have each step of the way, you have certain people that were in my life that kind of introduced me to different things spiritually, professionally, Mr. Reverend Lassiter. Then you have Benji Wimberly, who I worked with for many, many, many years as a specialist. And he was the first person that actually called me a part of his team. And I was like, nobody ain't know I was part of their team before. I used to be just an employee. I wasn't a team member, And it blessed me so. And he just immediately, like, that's my brother. That was my, and people, to the point where he even says, Yvonne, people would think like you're my real sister. You know that, right? And, I love his mom. Rest in peace. Just his family in general, they have been such a big support. His wife, just his beautiful wife. Then you have professionally, I have people in my life, my two best friends, they're crazy Italian guys. They used to tell me about myself all the time. Look at you, little hot Patterson, little hot-headed Patterson. Look at you. You want to fight everybody, don't you? But they taught me, they taught me how to conduct business. They taught me how to channel all of the knowledge and all the fire that I had to run a business and to run businesses. Frankie and Johnny, y'all know, y'all my boys. So it's just different people in different level, different places. Spiritually, different people connected me to God. I can't say it was just one person per se, with different places. Mr. Moody, because man, that dude, Chief Moody, he never waver. He's like a dad figure for real to me. Like when he sees me, he's like a proud dad that just looks at me like, Zatiti Moody, who he was the first person to tell me, girl, we gonna pay you to speak. I said, people get paid for speaking? I said, I don't want any money. He said, no, we paying you. I'm like, no, don't pay me anything. Then he told me how much. I said, that's how much. What?
Thank you.
So just, different places in my life. My uncle for introducing me to my husband. Just a lot. My grandparents,
How did y'all meet? Since you brought that up.
Oh, well, you want to take this one on?
I'll try. So
go ahead.
He's like, now you can't mess it up. Now I know she messed up the anniversary part, but you better not mess this up.
Let me hold on, because I got to thank these people. So let me thank my family. Mm-hmm. Let me thank my family: Renee, Allie, Joyce, my sister Joyce Coleman, who was hard on me. Rest in peace, sis. They're not biologically related to me, but they were the ones who took me in. They were the ones who made sure I had food, stable place. Squeak. Yeah, they loved on me. You know what I'm saying? I was.
They say it takes a village, right?
I was baby sis, and we had a good time. And I often don't talk about them much because, I don't know how much of the story that they want me to tell. But that's my family for real. So at that point in my life, to this day, we get up, we laugh, their kids, those are my nephew. I'm Auntie Evie to everybody, so that's my family. And I want to make sure that they know that how much I love and appreciate them and value them for real. And I met my biological father when I was almost 18. Uh-oh. So that's where we start. That's where you start.
So I met her uncle before I met her when I was in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
So I was in the Marine Corps in Pendleton, California. And I worked with him in the office when we were in the office and not in the field.
My biological father's brother.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And his name is Marlo Thomas. Mm-hmm. He's from Patterson. So I was working in the office when we were not in the field with two Marines from New Jersey. He was from Patterson. I can't remember where the other gunnery sergeant was from, but he's from New Jersey as well. Both of them, and he had a real strong Jersey accent. So, and I'm from Georgia. I'm like straight country, like as country can get. Like no shoes in the summer country. Like only thing I knew was church, sports, and school. That was it. Like my parents, I was somewhat sheltered. I never smoked a day in my life. Never drank. Well, I drank once. I got drunk when I was 14, trying to be cool. I threw up, made a promise to God. I never do this again. I never did it again. So when I got to the Marine Corps, I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking. The only thing I knew was church and school, and sports. So there were certain things I just didn't do. And a lot of Marines like, you don't fit in, man. What are you doing here? You know, you don't do none of the stuff we do. And there was a lot of stuff that was going on that I didn't do. So he noticed it, and I didn't know that he was watching me. So I always tell young men and tell young people in general, you never know who's watching you. So you got to be mindful of what you do. And anything that threatens your greatness, you need to get away from you as soon as possible. And so he was watching me this whole time, and he pulled me to the side. He's like, "Listen, I never seen a young Marine like you that conduct itself the way you do.